attention, Susan, shrieked Moody Margaret, or you'll go straight to the head. I am paying attention, said sour Susan. This is boring, said Horrid Henry. I want to play pirates. Silence, said Moody Margaret, whacking her ruler on the table. I want to be the teacher, said Susan. No, said Margaret. I'll be the teacher, said Horrid Henry. He'd send the class straight out for playtime and tell them to run for their lives. Are you out of your mind? Snapped Margaret. Can I be the teacher? Asked Perfect Peter. No, shouted Margaret, Susan, and Henry. Why can't I be the head? Said Susan sorely. Because, said Margaret. 'Cause why? Said Susan. 'Cause I'm the head. But you're the head and the teacher, said Susan. It's not fair. It's too fair. You'd make a terrible head, said Margaret. Wouldn't, would. I think we should take turns being the head, said Susan. That, said Margaret, is the dumbest idea I have ever heard. Do you see Mrs. Audubon taking turns being head? I don't think so. Susan, here. Peter, here. Henry? In the toilet, Margaret scolded. We'll try that again. Henry, flushed away. Last chance, said Margaret severely. Henry, dead.
Margaret made a big cross in her register. I will deal with you later. No one made you the big boss, muttered Horrid Henry. It's my house and we will play what I want, said Moody Margaret, and I want to play school. Horrid Henry scowled. Wherever Margaret came to his house, she was the guest and he had to play whatever she wants. But wherever Henry went to her house, Margaret was the boss 'cause it was her house. Mom had important work to do and needed total peace and quiet. So Henry and Peter had been dumped at Margaret's. Henry had begged to go to Ralph's, but Ralph was visiting his grandparents. Now he is trapped all day with horrible, moody old Grouch. Wasn't it bad enough being with Miss Battleaxe all week without having to spend his whole precious Saturday stuck at Margaret's, and even worse, playing school? Come on, let's play pirates, said Henry. I'm Captain Hook. Peter, walk the plank. No, said Margaret. I don't want to. But I'm guest, protested Henry. So, said Margaret, this is my house and we play by my rules. Yeah, Henry, said sour Susan. And I love playing school, said Perfect Peter. It's such fun doing sums. Grr. If only Henry could just go home. I want a good report, Mom had said, or you won't be going to Dave's bowling party tonight. It's very kind of Margaret and her mom having you boys over to play. But I don't want to go to Margaret's, howled Henry. I want to stay home and watch TV. N-O spells no, said Mom, and sent him kicking and screaming next door. You can come home at 5 o'clock to get ready for Dave's party, and not a minute before. Horrid Henry gazed lonely over the wall. His house looked so inviting. There was his bedroom windows twinkling at him, and his 𝗫𝗁cie telly, such a be in the waiting room, just began his to come over and switch it on. And all his wonderful toys just waiting to be played with. Funny, thought Horrid Henry. His toys seemed so boring.
when he was in his room, but now that he was trapped at Margaret's, there was so much he longed to do at home. Wait, he could hide out in his fort until 5 years, then stole into his house and if he's been at Margaret's all day. But the Margaret's mom would be sure to call his mom to state that Henry had visited, and Henry would get into trouble. Big trouble. Big then Ned from Dave party trouble. Or he'd pretend to be sick. Margaret's mom was such an old fuss, she did not be sure to send him home immediately. Weepy. He was a genius. This would be easy. A few lawn counses and few drums clothes at his throat and dash to the law, and he'd sent straight home, and oops, he'd be put in bed. No party, no pizza, no bowling. And what was the point of pretending to be sick at the weekend? He was trapped.
Chapter 4. Moody Margaret whacked her ruler on the table. "I want everyone to write a story," said Margaret. "Write a story? Boy, would Henry write a story." He seized a piece of paper and a pencil and scribbled away. "Who'd like to read their story to the class?" said Margaret. "I will," said Henry. "Once upon a time there was a moody old grouch named Margaret. Margaret had been born a frog, but an ugly wizard cursed the frog and turned it into Margaret." "That's enough, Henry," snapped Margaret. Henry ignored her. "Ribbit, ribbit," said Margaret Frog. "Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit." Everyone in the kingdom tried to get rid of this horrible, croaking, moody monster, but she smelled so awful that no one could get near her. Then one day a hero named Heroic Henry came, and he held his nose, grabbed the Margaret monster, and hurled her into outer space, where she explored and was never seen again. The end. Suzanne giggled. Margaret glared. "Fail," said Margaret. "Why?" said Horrid Henry, innocently. "'Cause," said Margaret, "I'm the teacher, and I say it was boring." "Did you think my story was boring, Peter?" demanded Henry. Peter looked nervous.
"Did you?" said Margaret. "Well, I think mine is better," said Peter. "Once upon a time there was a tea-towel named Terry. He was a very sad tea-towel because he didn't have any dishes to dry. One day he found a lot of wet dishes. Wish, wish, wish. They were dry in no time. Whoopee," said Terry the tea-towel. "I wonder." Then boring, shouted Horrid Henry. "Excellent, Peter," said Moody Margaret. "Much better than Henry's." Soon as read out a story about her cat. "My cat, Kitty Cat, is big fat cat. She says meow. One day Kitty Cat met a dog. Meow, said Kitty Cat. Woof woof, said the dog. Kitty Cat ran away, so did the dog. The end. Okay, class, here are your marks, said Margaret. Peter came first. Yay, said Perfect Peter. What? Said Sonia. My story was way better than his. Sonia came second. Harry came ninth. How can I be ninth if there are only 3 people in the class? Demanded Horrid Henry. "'Cause that's how bad your story was," said Margaret. "Now I have done some worksheets for you. No talking, or there will be no break." "Goody," said Perfect Peter. "I love worksheets. Are there lots of hard spelling words to learn?"
Horrid Henry Chapter 5. Horrid Henry had enjoyed. It was time to turn into 𝗦𝘗cie Henry had destroyed this horrible hag. Henry crumpled up his worksheet and stood up. "I've just been pretending to be a student, shouldn't Henry? If in fact I'm a school inspector, and I am shutting your school down. It's disgrace." Margaret gasped. "You're a mood old grouch, and a terrible teacher," said the in, in, ins, in, inspector. "I am not," said Margaret. She is not," said Susan. "Silliness when the inspector is speaking. You're the worst teacher I've even seen. Imagine marking a stupid story about a teacher towel higher than a fantastic tale about a wicked wizard." "I am not the head," said Margaret. You can't boss me around." "I am not the inspector," said Henry. "I can't boss everyone around."
"Oh, no, you are not," said Henry. "Oh, yes, I am," said Margaret. "An inspector can't be a head and a teacher, so there," said Henry. "Oh, yes, I can," said Margaret. "No, you can't, 'cause I'm king and I sent you to the tower," shrieked King Henry the Horrible. "I'm the Empress, screamed Margaret. Go to jail. I'm king of the universe, and I sent you to the snake pit, shrieked Henry. I'm queen of the universe, and I'm going to chop off your head. Not if I chop off yours first, shrieked the king, yanking on the queen's hair. The queen screamed and kicked the king. The king screamed and kicked the queen. Mom, screamed.
Chapter 6. Margaret's mother rushed in the secret club tent. What's wrong with my little snuggle chops? Said Margaret's mom. Henry's not playing my game, said Margaret. And he kicked me first. She kicked me first, said Henry. If you children can't play nicely, I'll have to send you all home, said Margaret's mother severely. No, said Peter. Send him home. Yes. Henry would make Margaret scream until the walls fell down. He would tell Margaret's mom her house smelled of poo. He would. But if Henry was sent home for being horrid, Mom and Dad would be furious. There would be no pizza and bowling party for sure, unless it was risky. It was dangerous. It could go horribly wrong. But desperate times call for desperate measures. Need a drink? Said Henry, and ran out of the tent before Margaret could stop him. Henry went into the kitchen to find Margaret's mom. I'm worried about Margaret. I think she's getting sick, said Henry. My little Maggie Muffin, gasped Margaret's mom. She's being very strange, said Henry sadly. She said she's the queen of the world and she would cut off my head. Margaret would never say such a thing, said her mom. She always plays beautifully. I've never seen a child so good at cheering. Horrid Henry nodded. I know. It must be 'cause she's sick. Maybe she caught something from Peter.
Has Peter been ill? Said Margaret's mom. She looked pale. Oh yeah, lied Henry. He's been throwing up, and well, it's been awful. But I'm sure he's not very contagious. Throwing up, said Margaret's mom weakly. And diarrhea, said Henry. Loads and loads. Margaret's mom looked ashen. Diarrhea? But he's much better now, said Henry. He's only run to the loo 5 times since we've been here. Margaret's mother looked faint. My little Margaret is so delicate. I can't risk, she gasped. I think you and Peter had better go home straight away. Margaret, Margaret, come in at once, she shouted. Horrid Henry did not wait to be told twice. School was out. Ah, thought Horrid Henry happily, reaching for the TV clicker. This was the life. Margaret had been sent to bed. He and Peter had been sent home. There was enough time to watch Marvin the Minakic and Terminator, Gladiator, before Dave's party. I can't help it, Margaret wasn't feeling well, Mom, said Horrid Henry. I just hope I haven't caught anything from her. Honestly, Mom was so selfish.